Episode 9 of the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, and we are back here in full effect, and interesting times going on in sports. My man Bryan Fonseca back with me, Dexter Henry. We are the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast team.
That's right.
And we're here, no guests this week, just us talking.
We don't need
sports.
Nobody.
No, we need people sometimes, but we're good by ourselves on our own. Interesting times. We're going to kick it off with some talk about the NBA, and I'm all about the NBA. Everybody knows I'm a big NBA fan. If you can't see, if you're watching the podcast, you will see I am repping my New York Knicks attire. Got the scarf, got the hat, got the Porzingis, got the Six God shirt on. Bryan, are you impressed with the outfit?
I'm impressed as much as I'm not surprised either. But I mean, the Knicks are playing very well.
Just so I can be clear, I'm not one of these fans that's on the hype train. I always rep the Knicks, good or bad.
He's actually very rational.
Very rational, and I'm rational enough to know that I am not getting too excited about the 6-5 spot, despite the outfit. I'm just rocking some gear.
My thing is the scarf. Also, if you guys aren't watching, Dexter has a scarf that looks very Carlton Banks preppy-ish.
Yeah.
And it has the whole Kia thing and.
Well, they're not a sponsor, so we're not talking about them.
Okay.
Yet.
So let's put that back there.
Yeah. Kia, if you want to be a sponsor, you can be, but right now they're not.
The other side. Put that to the back too.
Yeah,
we're gonna censor those on the video version.
Yeah. But no, I am a rational Knicks fan, but they are off to a 6-5 start. Yes. There's been a lot of shock in the NBA. They've been playing good ball. They've been fun. Mm-hmm. They've been interesting to watch.
Even fun.
Porzingis has been killing it. Yeah. He looks like an MVP candidate already, and that's what I'm happy about. That I've seen him take the next step. He's scoring from all over the court, scoring in the post, playing well defensively. So I'm excited about that. Am I shocked the Knicks are 6-5? You're damn right I am. Okay, because I thought after 11 games, I thought maybe they'd be 1-10, 2-9. But the fact that they are 6-5 right now is shocking to me. The question I've been getting asked a lot, Bryan, is, yo, Dex, how do you feel about this? Are you happy the Knicks are 6-5?
Because you
kind of want them to lose and tank. Yeah. And I've been very conflicted about it. I kind of wanted them to tank. I still don't think the Knicks are going to be this high-level championship contending team that some people think they may be. We got our director of photography, Lewis, talking about a 4-seed. He's out of his mind. We'll get to him later. He's absolutely out of his mind. Do I think the Knicks can be in the playoff run for a lower seed? Yeah, that wouldn't shock me. And maybe that's a good thing for this group of guys. What I will say that I like is I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Come back and talk to me in a couple of weeks. I really like to judge a team in the NBA after 25 games. So I'm not on this 6-5 hype train. Things can change real quick. We all know that. Let's talk after 25 games. Ask me how I feel. What I do like that I will say, though, is I like the fact that Porzingis and Ntilikina have been talking about wanting to win and wanting to win now and changing the culture. These are guys who are setting the tone. They're going to be the centerpieces, hopefully, of this team, and they're talking about culture and starting a winning culture. When I hear players talking like that, whether they win or not, I like that because that tells me that they don't like losing, they don't want to lose, and they don't want to have a losing mentality. And when you have that, I think that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, you're basically seeing what you, as a Knicks fan, are basically seeing what you want to see. I, on the other hand, I can't even lie. They've been pleasant to watch so far. Pleasant surprise, I guess you would say.
Very pleasant surprise.
If you're a Knicks fan. To me, it's just a surprise because it's not very pleasant because I don't care one way or another.
Well, yeah, and you're right.
I'm not anti-Knicks.
No, you're right because as a Knicks fan, you don't get anything pleasant for most of the time.
Yeah, and, you'll have to still see if this is sustainable and you'll know, and all those things. But you're seeing what you want to see in terms of, like, Porzingis is stepping up. He's averaging, like, 30 and 7-8 rebounds.
And over 2.5 blocks a game.
And he's coming up clutch.
Yep.
He's getting big buckets late. Ntilikina's coming in. He's playing defense. He's facilitating. He's doing all those things. So it's just a matter of, from those two in particular, you're seeing what you want to see. Now, the other parts, you're going to have to wait and see, like, long-term what they're going to give you. But all around right now, you're getting good contributions. It's a good team that looks like, hey, if they keep this up, maybe you're looking at a playoff berth. But we're only, like, 10, 11 games in. So,
Yeah, let's not put the cart ahead of the horse and jump too fast. Some Knicks fans, I'm seeing this on Twitter, I'm seeing this.
But you know all the time. See, this is my thing with Knicks fans. It's like, this all the time, is that Porzingis is, yes, he's great. But it's already from game one up until now, it's like he's the MVP, he's this, he's that.
Yeah,
Granted, he's playing great, but even before when he wasn't playing as great, it's because he's in New York that it's on steroids. As far as like the media coverage and the reception to it.
I'm not shocked at what Porzingis is doing, to be honest. Like I'm not shocked
either.
because I thought he could take the leap. I really believe in him. I like his mentality. I like his focus. I've always liked that. So I'm personally not shocked about it at all whatsoever. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm also not going to be the leader of the hype train. Is he playing at an MVP level early on? I would say yes.
We've seen
the fans chanting MVP at the Garden. They even chanted it when I was at the home opener. And he played, and now I was like, this is the second game.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that.
But they're ready. They're, like, ready for Porzingis.
But that shows you how desperate, and I'm talking to the whole Knicks fan base, they are. They're desperate for something good that you're reaching to say that somebody's an MVP 11 games in the season. I think it's a little too much. You got to pump the brakes.
Remember Amari Stoudemire?
Oh, yeah.
How that was?
He played MVP level that year.
Oh, yeah.
And then Melo came in.
It was fun to watch. Well, Raymond Felton was having the 3 months of his life.
It feels like that year. Yeah, it feels like that year in the beginning of that. That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
It feels like that as a Knicks fan. I'm just a rational, tempered Knicks fan that knows the other shoe can fall at any time.
With a scarf.
Yes. And you know what? Look. It can get really cold out there. See, that's why I'm rocking the scarf. I know it could be a cold winter for Knicks fans. That's why you got to rock the scarf. You got to protect your neck, protect your heart. That's what you got to do as a Knicks fan because things can change really quick. But it's been an interesting time in the association. A lot of teams off to interesting starts. Cleveland, they're off to a rough start, below 500. So are the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And they have losses to the Knicks and the Nets.
Yes. Yeah. What do you make of that? They're the 3-time defending Eastern Conference Championship champions. Are you in panic mode regarding the Cavs? Do you think it's reason to be concerned, or is it a situation where, hey, they've got 8 new players, maybe we should pump the brakes and let them have some time to figure it out?
I mean, it's just a matter. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. But any team with LeBron, to me, is going to get that benefit of the doubt because he's such a difference maker. And Isaiah Thomas is still injured. You know what I mean?
Right.
Things are going to I feel like Dwayne Wade is going to play better later on when it matters, quote unquote, more. You know, you're going to start to see better contributions from guys like that. Isaiah Thomas specifically, that's a big thing for me because he's somebody who's supposed to be your stabilizing force and your starting point guard. You got LeBron starting at point guard, which is, that's fine. He could do whatever he wants. But you have one less ball handler with Isaiah Thomas not out there. And he's somebody who averaged 30, like Porzingis is doing now, while he was in Boston. And, you could say what you want about him being a defensive liability or whatever the case may be, but look, I'll take a defensive liability who's giving me 30 and 5 assists?
They need him. That you look at the team right now, they need him.
Remember, his big thing in Boston, Isaiah Thomas, was he got big buckets late.
Yes.
So, Cleveland could use that. I mean, granted, you have LeBron there for that.
But they need him right now.
Yeah, they need him. So we'll see how it looks in January. I think by then they're probably going to, they'll get on one of these 5-6 game winning streaks, whatever the case, and then their record will flip. But right now it's just a bad start.
I'm not.
LeBron is healthy, so you'll be all right.
The Thunder, they are 4-6 after 10 games. Not off to a great start themselves. They've had some suspect calls from the ref. Haven't got help by the ref. I think that's. I
also told you there's one ball that goes around when they play. So.
Yeah, you were kind of suspect on that.
I was trolling, but still.
Westbrook's got off to a good start. It seems like the other pieces, George and Carmelo, haven't integrated. Yeah, I thought it would take some time. Are you concerned about them, or do you think, too, kind of like Cleveland, they're going to figure it out?
I'm not expecting a ton out of them in comparison to somebody like Cleveland or to Golden State. Because to me, I think Houston's still better. I think the Spurs will probably be better. Well, no, actually, I don't. I think, those teams will be better. I think Oklahoma's that leaves them, I guess, third in the West at best.
Third, fourth, right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm not expecting a ton out of them. I did think they would get off to a better start. I actually think because of who they have on offense that this is one of those teams that can get off to, that would have gotten off to a fiery start and then maybe in the season high in the standings, 55 wins or something like that. But they don't have depth, and we're seeing that.
You wonder if Sam Presti will be able to make a move. Obviously, Bryan does a great job covering the Nets for Nets Daily. You can always check out his great work there. The Nets, maybe after a decent start, I think they were 3-2.
This is my specialty right here.
They now have sputtered a little bit. They've had some bad losses, including losing to Phoenix at home. how do you feel about the Nets and where they are right now? Did you expect better, or are they kind of around where you thought they might be?
Well, it's hard because Jeremy Lin's out for the season, and now we know that they have other guys that are, you know, in and out of the lineup. Jared Allen's still hurt. We actually just got the alert a little while ago. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson's questionable for their next game, which is tomorrow. So if you're listening to this on Friday, that's later tonight. Same thing with Trevor Booker. And this is the thing that's really killing them. It's Trevor Booker, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, Jared Allen all being injured.
Yeah.
You're left with Timothy Mozgov, who's kind of underperformed so far.
Kind of.
And then you have Tyler Zeller, who's actually been playing pretty well the minutes he's gotten the last 3 games. Me and Pooch collaborated on a piece for that.
But the problem is they've been hurting the depth up front with their bigs.
And even before that, they weren't necessarily this big team.
Right.
So what you have is Jokic or any of these other bigs, Miles Turner,
destroying
that
them.
can really score. They are scorching Vucevic.
Yeah, he killed them.
But
yeah.
These guys are coming in and putting 30, 40 points on them.
Even so, Brook Lopez giving buckets.
Yeah, Brook Lopez, another good one.
Yep.
Because they can shoot.
Yep.
That's the thing. They're taking these bigs out, or they're just taking guys out, and they have a lot of. It's not even just that they can shoot; is that they have so much versatility. These bigs I'm talking about, so much versatility on offense, like an Amari Stoudemire, actually. You know, going back to that, or like a Porzingis, who they also played against.
Yep.
So you play against these bigs who can stretch the floor, who can handle the ball, who can score.
And that's a problem. That's a problem for the Nets right now.
Look, I repeatedly say I'm not a Net fan. This Brooklyn hat is nice though. And I say that to say I do use them in 2K because I covered them. So that's kind of like my thing. If I was covering the Miami Heat, I'd use the Miami Heat. Here's where I'm going with this, right? So I used them in the season, played Minnesota, got washed.
I would have expected that.
Karl Anthony Towns destroyed me. Probably had, I think it was 40 and 18, something like that.
Damn.
This is, and look, y'all can say, oh, because you suck, whatever. But that's probably a microcosm of, go ahead, say something.
No, I was going to say, yeah, it is a microcosm of what is going to happen and what you're saying. Like, they are going to get killed by very talented and skilled bigs.
Which also makes me, like, it kind of makes me believe, like, hey, there's more bigs in the league that can score than I thought. Like, a lot of people saying, like, the NBA center is dead, and I don't really think that's the case, especially now.
I think
the skill set is just evolved.
It's evolved. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it was in a transition. I think the skill set has evolved. I think it's a great time now for bigs, and it shows you the bigs they can do and what's versatile. And before we end this segment, we've got a couple other teams to look at. We talked about the Knicks, Nets, Thunder, Cavs. We talked about some of the teams struggling, but what about some of the teams that have been surprising? Do you believe in Detroit and Orlando? Detroit sitting at 8-3. Orlando at 7-4. Just beat the Knicks last night. They have wins also over the Nets. They beat the Spurs. Orlando. Do you believe in either of those teams?
Orlando, not so much. To be totally honest, but I just have a tough time seeing Orlando like having some state. Actually, these are two of the teams I thought would be on the outside looking in on the playoff chase. So no, I don't really believe in either team that much. Although I do kind of like Detroit's makeup more because I really like that they were able to get Avery Bradley in replace of KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Andre Drummond, I still like him more than I guess a lot of other people that I know. You know, minus the free throw shooting.
Yeah, and his free throw shooting has actually been improved. I don't know if that can stay.
Let's give him some credit.
He's actually was shooting just under 80%. I don't know if that'll stay there.
Yeah.
But those two teams in the East have been surprising. In the West, New Orleans been a lot of people had them on the outside looking in. They're sitting at 6-5. Not too many big surprises in the West.
No.
Minnesota at 7-4. I thought they could be in the top 4. Memphis, they've probably maybe the biggest surprise out of teams at 7-4. And they beat Houston twice.
I like Memphis because of what they do, like the whole grit and grind thing. But they did lose some elements of that with Zach Randolph.
Now they're playing a little faster. And I was watching a game. You know, I'm a League Pass junkie. I was watching a game with them against Portland the other night. Very good game, close game, but they closed out a win. They really grinded it out. I hate using that word for them all the time, but they really grinded out a win there. And you know who's been playing that? Tyreek Evans has been playing extremely well for them.
He's back to his 2009 self.
I'm like, we haven't seen this since 2009 Kings.
Yeah.
And Tyreek Evans has been really good attacking the rim, playing well in the mid-range. They've been getting a lot of good production out of him and Parsons. So we'll see. You know what? This is the problem. It's early. We have all these surprises and stuff, but will this keep up? We have no idea this will keep up.
It never does.
Now,
like, because because you know, people are starved for content, and people just want content, especially for free. And I'm gonna get to y'all later. But it's basically like, you know, none of these things are like truly always, not none of them, but a lot of these things are not sustainable, because especially in this league, you're going to go through those rough patches. You're going to go through these losing streaks. Guys, especially rookies, they're going to hit walls.
Yep.
The Knicks, you don't know. The Nets, you don't know. Like, I think the Nets are not going to be as bad as last year, but they're, you know, I'm not totally surprised at their start with or without the injuries.
Yeah, neither am I.
The Knicks are surprising. Is that sustainable? Like all these other teams, you don't really know.
It's too early. You have to take a lot and see. One of the teams that we like to check in on is the Utah Jazz, because our producer Matthew Faniza, Jazz fan in New York. If you look at his Twitter account, he calls himself the #1 Jazz fan.
His new Twitter account. Yes.
He finally came back. He calls himself the #1 Jazz fan in New York.
The #1.
And they've been struggling a little bit lately. They're 5-6 overall. They've lost 6 out of their last 10 games. 3 in a row right now.
Tell me why Rudy Gobert's trash.
So we want to ask.
I won't tell you why he's trash.
So Matt, what's going on with your Jazz? Because I don't think many of us thought at this point the Knicks would have a better record than them. The Magic would have a better record than them. Detroit. I don't think a lot of people would have thought that. How you feeling, man?
I'm not feeling too good. I'm not. 3-game losing streak. Last game against the Sixers was atrocious, especially on our defense. They just dominated us in the paint. I don't know where Gobert was that game. Rubio. Okay, here's I have 3 things. Our defense is good. It's not as good as I think it should be. I know they're pretty new team. Got some new additions. Bryan, don't give me that look.
I just want the Rubio talk, because I've been telling you about him for years.
Well,
not years.
I know you for like 3 years, but
Once.
yeah.
So defense is not as good.
Defense is good, but they still need to work out some kinks. As of last game, they dominated us in the paint.
#Kings.
Second thing, they need another star. Because Gobert, I don't think he could do it by himself.
Oh, I never thought that.
Yeah, he needs someone else.
You need a draft. Oh, well, you have Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, but he's still young.
He's not ready. Donovan,
but you're not signing anybody to Utah except Joe Johnson.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't
surprising.
Know. Well, I don't know about that. But are you saying that you have to draft this star? Are you saying you have to go out and get this in free agency? What are you saying?
I have to look into that more, but they need someone. That's all I need.
So when I hear you say that, what I'm hearing you say is, I miss Gordon Hayward.
They need a scorer. I don't miss Gordon Hayward. They need a scorer.
Yes, you do.
He's heavily missed on our offense. Okay,
Matt, you miss him.
I don't miss him.
No. You miss him.
No, I don't.
Oh, you miss him.
We can do this all day.
You miss him though.
All right. Long story short. 3-game homestand.
Never mind.
Go ahead.
What were we gonna say?
No. You finish what you have to say.
No. You go.
Okay. 3-game losing streak. We have a 3-game homestand. Miami, Brooklyn, Minnesota. Beat Miami, Brooklyn, Minnesota's a tough game. 2 out of 3. It's all I asked for.
That's what you're asking for right now.
Yeah.
None of those are definite wins.
I know, but come on.
I think 2 of the games are definitely winnable.
Yeah.
Winnable, but not. I mean, like.
I won't say they're locks.
It's not like Golden State playing against.
But you guys are doing what I thought you'd do. You'd be very good defensively, even though I think you've had some lapses the last couple of games. But I thought you would struggle to score.
Offensively,
you guys and you need the other score. And the bottom line is, we're going to end the segment on this. Matt misses.
I don't miss Gordon Hayward.
He misses. It's like like the girlfriend that you know was good. You know, she was treating you good, doing everything you needed for you. She was the all-around player. She was there when you needed. And now she's gone, and you know what you're missing. That good loving. You're missing it.
Man.
Because that offense ain't loving you right now.
It's not loving me right now.
And you are not loving the offense.
I'm not loving the offense.
There we go. That's what we'll say.
I don't miss Gordon Hayward. Do not put that in the rundown. Matt loves Gordon Hayward.
You know what?
Well, you don't love him like somebody loves Freddie Gibbs.
No. That was so early in the show.
You were going to go there.
That was so early in the show, and we got that in already.
And he knew he was going to go there.
This is going to be your Freddie Gibbs. Is the I love Gordon Hayward or the I miss Gordon Hayward thing?
Yeah, not the same.
Not
even close.
So when I get the T-shirt design, the I miss Gordon Hayward shirt,
okay,
you're going to wear it.
And you have to wear a Freddie Gibbs shirt.
Deal.
Okay, deal.
And I won't be wearing anything of that sort.
We are
going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about something that is annoying me in sports right now. I think it's the absolute most annoying thing in sports. We'll talk about that when we come back with a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about. No more love and missing Gordon Hayward on the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast.
It ain't hard to tell where to get the latest merchandise from Backpack Broadcasting. Gear is now available via tee.pub. Visit the Backpack Broadcasting tee.pub online store to get shirts, hoodies, mugs, and phone cases. Represent your favorite Backpack Broadcasting shows, including the Sports Walk, Sideline Stories, and of course, the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. Check out the special offers for our podcast listeners at http://t.pub/lic/backpack. Get in the game with your official Backpack Broadcasting gear today.
What's up, listeners? You know sometimes how it can be hard just to get from point A to point B. Now, when I have to get anywhere and I don't want to deal with the hassle of public transportation, it ain't hard to tell how I get around. I always make sure to use the best car service app in the game. I'm talking about Lyft. Lyft offers rides in minutes. All you have to do is download the Lyft app, request a ride, and you will be on your way quickly. Lyft is all about happy riders and happy drivers. Take a ride with them and you'll see why 9 out of 10 rides end up with a 5-star rating. Lyft always has amazing offers for new customers, and I'm here to tell our listeners about a great offer today. Lyft is currently offering free ride credit to Ain't Hard to Tell listeners. If you are new to Lyft, then you are eligible, and getting your credit is easy. All you have to do is download the app and use the promo code AHTTPOD to unlock your free credit today. Ain't hard to tell who has the best car app service, so use the code today and ride out loud with Lyft. Welcome back to the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. Dexter, Henry, Bryan, Fonseca here with more to talk about in the world of sports and everything. In the world of sports, I've been really annoyed lately. The NFL has annoyed me. You know that I'm still not watching NFL. For those wondering, I'm still not watching NFL. I've not watched one single game this year. But the one bit of news that you can't, people talk about the anthem protests, and also you can't get away from it. Oh, we don't like this. Shut up. The one news that you can't get away from is the Ezekiel Elliott. You get an update on your phone one week that says he's playing, then he's not playing, then he's playing again, then he's not playing. It's annoying. Yeah. I'm at this point where I don't even care. Yeah. And before we recorded this podcast, there's another, ruling came down. Injustice? I was going to injunction. Another ruling came down. It's an injustice to us as sports fans. That's what it is. Yeah, another ruling came down that now the NFL can suspend him once again. He's avoided it through the first 8 games. Yeah. So he now will have to serve the domestic violence ban after the court, one of the highest courts in the country, denied his appeal. So now we're back on again, where Ezekiel Elliott's ban is on again. But who knows? In 2 days, it could change again. And we might see Ezekiel Elliott playing once again. Do you care, Bryan Fonseca?
No. You could here's the thing, though, but I didn't care. Like in the beginning when they started the flip-floppery and just was like, oh, he's suspended, oh, he's getting appealed or whatever. And I just want to be clear, we do care about the domestic violence. That's why I said we don't care about the flip-flopping. Yes. We care about that, which is why he should be whatever. Like we don't even need to get into.
He hasn't even denied it. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he should be suspended, but whatever. They're going back on it time and again. It's every other day, just about, as you said, we're getting alert after alert after alert. He's suspended, he's not suspended. Every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever he plays, he doesn't play, and it's annoying, and I don't care, and I'm tired of getting the alert about Ezekiel Elliott. I understand he's a great, game-changing player, whatever, and he's put on some pounds, but that's a whole nother story.
I hope this is over. That's what it sounds like you're saying. I hope this is over. I don't want to see another alert.
There are some things that just linger on and on, like Deflategate, for example. That just, I mentioned that, and everyone in here hangs their heads because we're tired of it and we don't want to hear about it, and we're not that invested in it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't care. Even you as a Jet fan with the whole Deflategate thing, at some point you were over it, even though knowing that, you can say what you want about New England's 5 titles, but they've been up to some ish to get, some stuff.
Well, I mean, when you get a light slap on the wrist for a punishment, and then you still win.
It's New England.
Yeah, they've laughed. I think Brady, Belichick, Robert Kraft, they've laughed at these punishments from the NFL. Even when they took away 1st and 3rd, they're just like, oh, we still win.
We don't need to go off on that tangent, but
no.
Tired of the Ezekiel Elliott thing. don't care if
it's an injustice to the fans.
Yeah.
We should not have to see any more Ezekiel Elliott updates.
And quite frankly, if he doesn't play anymore, and if Dallas lose more games, and if Jerry Jones loses more money, I'm all for it.
Hey. Shots fired.
Should we go to Meek Mill now?
Yeah, let's talk about real injustices. Yeah, can we talk about real injustices? In the world of hip hop, Meek Mill violated his probation.
Yeah.
And when you look at how he violated his probation here, which is interesting, he violated the probation and then was sentenced for 2 to 4 years in jail. Now, a bunch of people have spoken about this. And how did he violate his probation again? He was popping a wheelie on a bike.
Out of state.
Out of state.
The key is that he left, from what I understand, he left the state of Pennsylvania, where he's from, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, without telling anybody, basically. Anybody who's supposed to know, the judge or whatever.
Now, here's my thing. But I understand some people are very by the book, letter of the law.
And we are not legal experts.
Did he violate his parole by not informing his probation parole officer that he was out of state? Absolutely, he did.
But rules are stupid.
Yes, they are. And some people say rules are meant to be broken.
Yes.
But
shout out Triple H.
And that's fine. And should there be some penalty for that? Absolutely. I see you with your wrestling.
And Matt approved.
I see that. But does the man deserve 2 to 4 years? I think that's
extreme.
Extreme, a bit much. A bunch of hip hop artists have spoken out on this. Jay-Z said something at his concert the other night about it. And he spoke to that. And it's just, when there's such unfair discrimination in the justice system with incarceration to minorities, and you see something like this for a simple parole violation, 2 to 4 years. We're not talking 2 to 4 months. 2 to 4 years. It's crazy.
That's a long. And somebody who was just. It's also because he's had this judge for a while. Remember, he's been to jail.
Right.
He's gotten out. There's a reason he was on probation to begin with. You know what I mean? So there's kind of two sides to this in terms of where you stand, as there are with most things. It's a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the system is broken. The system is broken," which is true. And as we've said, a lot of rules are stupid, or as I've said at least, and the rules are made to be broken. However, something as serious as that probably should abide by it, because then this is what happens to you, right? They came down heavy-handed, and I think it's unfair, but I get why. I don't think. Come on, that doesn't honestly warrant, morally, because I feel like that's the most important thing.
Here's my problem with stuff like this. I see a guy who, yes, he violates parole and should serve some sort of punishment. I am not excusing Meek Mill for any of this. Yeah. But then I see him, to bring it back to sports, we saw a young man at Stanford last year who was found guilty of raping a woman.
Brock Turner,
my man Brock Turner out there, who got off real easy, and his dad was crying, talking about, oh, he shouldn't serve this harsh of a penalty. What did he end up doing? 6 months?
Less, I think.
Less than that?
Something like that?
Something like it was not. I'll tell you what, it wasn't a 2 to 4.
No.
All right, and this is Meek Mill, who's already served jail time. Yes, he was wrong by not informing his parole.
And if you couldn't figure it out by the name, Brock Turner is white.
Yes, and there is what we see, a lot of injustice and racial disparity within the justice system, and it's not justice for everyone. I only bring that out to bring it back to sports and show that it's not.
3 months.
Not that.
3 months.
3 months. Matt, our producer Matt Finese just informed that we have it correct.
By the way, if you don't know, and if you've been living under a rock, Meek Mill is not white.
Yes, just in case you did not know. Yes. But when I see stuff like that, and people will say, I know that here comes the other side of the argument. Oh, well, he should have just followed the rules, man. Yeah. If he did that, he wouldn't do that. That's all true, and that's well.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is, does the punishment fit the crime?
No.
I don't know anymore, because you can be convicted of rape, and you can do 3 months. And you can step out of state in your parole and then get sentenced 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
That doesn't add up. Now, if you're arguing against that, then you're just biased and you're ridiculous.
Right, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. And people are going to say, oh, but there's 2 different judges and there's 2 this and
nah, man.
No, I mean, when you just put them up against each other, see, the whole thing that's really important about it is morally, it doesn't make any sense to give somebody 2 to 4, even though he's been there before, whatever, 2 to 4 year sentence for popping a wheelie outside of Pennsylvania. Yes, he should let you know, especially if he's on parole and there's a reason he's got there, whatever. But Brock Turner, and he's not the only one that, got off, because we can talk about, George Zimmerman, who, killed Trayvon Martin and got nothing. We can go down that whole list and go off on that tangent too. But you know what happened to Meek Mill is ridiculous, and it sucks because you know from a musical standpoint, we could talk about music real quick. I thought that he just put out maybe his 2 best projects, the last 2 that came out. I know you're not a huge Meek Mill fan in terms of his music. I happen to like his music because I like talking smack, so to speak.
He just yells too much.
I would say
I like my eardrums, man. So
me too, but like at the same time, like yeah, you know, I like a lot of workout songs that he has. I thought Dream Chasers 4 was great, and I thought his last project was great too. The name of the album is escaping me right now.
Might not been that great then. So that's all.
I don't know what it was, but it was well, great relative term, but regardless, you know, hopefully, you know, I hope the best for him because
I don't know what the hope and best is to wrap this up until people get angrier about stuff like this, until really
not just
start
get
talking.
Angrier because it's easier.
Well, anger with action. Anger with action. Anger without action.
It's easy to be angry because people just love to be angry now, as we see on Twitter all the damn time.
It's cool to be mad.
And you're just typing. You're just doing stuff from home, and you're just typing about stuff.
Well, see, that's
actually going out. And
I'm
doing
glad
anything.
you said that because there's a lot of people here, even other celebrities, who, oh, yo, Meek Mill, hang in there, be tough. Sometimes God puts you through tough situations. Nah, man, forget all that.
Which is true.
And sometimes we have to stop with this constant, yo, we're gonna go through it. Let's be strong. Let's do this. And there's reform. And I don't mean to get too political here, but there's also the same thing that happens with the mass shooting that we saw outside of Texas the other day, and they posted. You see the same people do the same stuff on Facebook all the time. Every time there's a mass shooting,
pray for Las Vegas,
pray for Vegas, pray for Houston,
pray for New York,
pray for this place, pray for New York.
We have one.
You know
recently.
what? Especially when it comes to gun control and stuff. You know what? How about we start talking about, let's get some damn legislation going on that actually changes something instead of talking about, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Now, you know what? With the gun control laws we have, I'm not shocked that it happened. My heart goes out to all the people who lost people in all these situations of gun violence and in any situation. But with the gun regulations that we currently have in this country and how easy it is for somebody to go and buy a gun in places like a Walmart and other places in this country where you can easily go and get it. Am I surprised this happened? No. So could we please stop with I'm shocked. Let's pray for this. I'm all for prayer. I'm not disrespecting anybody's religion or anything. But the prayer with no action is pointless. So please stop posting that if you ain't doing nothing. Because all you're doing is doing a whole bunch of keystrokes and acting like you're socially conscious, but you ain't doing nothing.
Speaking of prayers, Bermaine Stavern could probably use some because this past Saturday,
he needed a prayer to win that fight anyway.
I was at the fight covering that, and that was amazing. Deontay Wilder, granted, yeah, like we knew it was gonna happen. Probably not that quickly, but Deontay Wilder, WBC heavyweight champion of the world, 39 wins, no losses, 38 knockouts, went in there, bronze mask, defeated, destroyed, dismantled.
Got any more adjectives?
Bermaine Stavern.
Okay.
In the first round, 3 knockdowns, finished him off in less than 3 minutes, and he probably could have done it in less. If you haven't watched it, YouTube it, and really just treat yourself. You know, just take out 3 minutes of your day and just kind of watch it. You know, I feel for Bermaine Stavern, but I'm pretty sure that he and everybody else knew what was going to happen that night. And I say all that to say,
he knew it was going to happen. He knew it was going to happen like that.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. He knew it was going to happen.
But the more important thing is, and we were talking about this last week with our homie Amber Kuntz, who actually, you know what? She texted me today, right? And she texted me some Instagram photo or whatever, and it's basically shows all of Deontay Wilder's opposition, how low some of them were ranked, how, you know, this and that. So then she said, granted, it's not all his fault, but still, I'm not sold. And then I said, well, all right, whatever. Like, that's not his fault, as you said. We've had 3 guys, you know, that I mentioned last week, top contenders,
yes.
Alexander Povetkin, other dude whose name I can't pronounce, and another dude whose name I can't pronounce.
Damn.
So it's this like, Luis Ortiz, never mind.
Luis Ortiz, yes.
But the other one, whatever, but it doesn't matter. 3 top contenders, all he was gonna fight, doping, canceled the fight. Deontay was still going to fight them. Not his fault. He's just going out there and doing what he's going to do. But more importantly, getting off that, Anthony Joshua, who fought the week before.
Who I feel that can challenge him.
I agree.
Good challenge. I'm not saying he's going to win.
I think he could. I think Wilder will, but I think Joshua could.
Yes.
Yeah. So I say all that to say, after the fight.
We acknowledged this last week. Joshua did not look so great in his last fight.
Yes.
We acknowledge that.
Yes.
Just want to be clear.
Yes. It's just Deontay Wilder just after the fight calling out Anthony Joshua, calling out his promoter. We have Lou DiBella, who's Deontay Wilder's promoter, calling out Joshua's promoter as well, Eddie Hearn, who now promotes Danny Jacobs, and he fights this Saturday. So we got that going on. There's a whole bunch of calling out going on because even after that, Anthony Joshua responded uncharacteristically. He tweeted at Joseph Parker talking about how he's just sitting there sipping tea and not offering a contract. He's tweeting at Deontay Wilder, attaching an 18-minute video of responding to his call out because apparently he wants to fight. And there's also a tweet at Tyson Fury said, "Get fit, you fat F word." I want to say that other word so bad, but I'm not going to. But Anthony Joshua, that's uncharacteristic of him because he's not somebody who gets into the, you
kind of could see him, and maybe it's the whole, British thing going on, sipping his tea or whatever. But you know what? See the calling out in boxing? It's corny. That's everybody doing too much.
Yeah.
I don't care.
There's some people I believe it from.
Some of these guys.
Wilder, I believe it.
All right, but here's my thing. If you aren't close to getting this deal done until the ink is on the paper and we actually see and know give me a date. That's when I get hyped. I don't get hyped about anything in boxing until I know a date. All this talking and calling people. Now, I'm not knocking Wilder because I think Wilder's, he understands the perception that's out there of him. He understands that people are saying, yo, you haven't fought anybody.
And he's tried.
Right? But look, here's the thing. They're putting these bums out in front of him and he's knocking them out. And in the first round, they put this bum in front of him at the Barclays Center and he knocked him out. And he was like, go home.
I'm not going to call a fighter a bum. That's just me.
Yo, did you think he could win?
No.
Bum. That's what we're talking about. Bum. We knew he wasn't going to win. No, there was no drama or suspense there. Before we wrap this up, what I would like to say is, look, can we stop with all the pre-hype? We don't need any of this.
I just want to get into it.
Yo, let me know when they're going to fight.
Let's go.
And then we'll talk, because I don't want to talk about this again.
I think it could happen. If it's going to happen as early as it possibly could, it's probably first quarter next year. I would think March. Deontay Wilder just fought in the first.
Yeah, we know. I'm about the other people. Because now we're going to know.
Hearn and Lou DiBella.
And now we're going to know who's ducking who.
Look,
if we don't see something happen by March, now I'm looking at all these other dudes like, yo, what y'all doing?
Wilder said at that press conference I was at, he wants Anthony Joshua, Lou DiBella, everybody on his side wants that fight and have been wanting that fight. However, will the same energy be reciprocated from the UK, from Anthony Joshua's camp?
We'll see. Don't be hiding over there across the pond, Anthony Joshua, because we're gonna call you out about it. That's all. I'm just saying that. That's a wrap for that.
And we want to see that fight. We want to see.
I want to see it. They better show up. Well, one thing we know that Bryan does not hide about is his love for Freddie Gibbs. And when we come back in segment 3, we're going to talk. A new Freddie Gibbs track has been released. Bryan was so excited. He texted it to me yesterday, and I sent
it to the group chat. And only Dexter responded. He was like, "Oh, the artwork."
Now the key is, has anybody listened to it beside you? I think the answer to that is no. We'll find that out when we come back. And we're also going to talk about gentrification and food and how we are not here for it when we come back on the AHTTPOD podcast.
Sports Guru is the place where fans talk about sports via video. All videos are 60 seconds or shorter. Sports Guru makes the video look more professional and fun by adding automated on-screen graphics. You can follow your favorite sports by team, trending, new, or by people you follow, and more. Type in the title of your video and it will auto-magically go into your on-screen graphics. It's just that simple. Tag your teams and publish sports. Let's talk sports.
The best new sports web series is here. It's from Backpack Broadcasting and it's called The Sports Walk. The Sports Walk is a series where diverse sports fans take a walk and share their views at the intersection of sports and society. The entire first season is now available on Backpack Broadcasting's YouTube channel.
and backpackbroadcasting.com. See what other sports fans have to say about a variety of issues in the world of sports. Watch all 13 episodes from season 1 and take the sports walk today. Ain't Hard to Tell podcast in full effect. Thank you for joining us on episode 9 of our show. Dexter Henry along with Bryan Fonseca here. And Bryan is pretty pumped this week.
Yes.
He's maybe not as excited as I am about the Knicks 6-5 start, but he got a new Freddie Gibbs track. And if you've been watching this podcast, you've been listening to this podcast.
Finally.
You know how much Bryan loves Freddie Gibbs. Nobody else is this excited.
His music.
You really like Freddie Gibbs' music. You sent me the track. I did not listen to it. I apologize. I did not take the time to listen to it.
I'm rolling my eyes right now if you're not watching.
I wasn't that excited about it.
But here, hold on. First, let me defend myself. I was excited about it because it's good. All right, I'm not one of these people who I see a new song and then it's like, remember, okay, perfect example. Nas, Travis Scott on the DJ Khaled album, Grateful, whatever it's called. The song, It's Secured. I was like, I'm curious to see how that sounds. We had the same reaction after we heard it. We were like, verses are cool, Nas sounds offbeat, hook is trash, I'm done. Like, I'm not listening.
Yeah, I've never played that again.
Yeah, no. But that's just to, kind of spare me from, I'm not going to get spared because y'all are going to, see,
we're going to do what we have to do. We're going to do what we have to do. That's what it
but that's not, it's not irrational. Like your Knicks fandom isn't irrational. I'm just defending myself here. Okay. I'm a defensive person. I'm also very petty. We don't have to get to that now. But with Freddie Gibbs, the song is called The Wave.
For those out there that would like to listen to it.
It's on Spotify. I was actually 4 days late. So this came out November.
That's a shock.
Yeah, this came out. Y'all like, what? But this came out November 3rd. Yesterday was the 7th. Let me just make sure. No,
yesterday was the 8th, actually.
Yesterday was the 8th?
Yes.
The 8th.
So when did it come out? All right, whatever. So I was
late.
I was 4 or 5 days late. And the song is called The Wave.
And now you're riding the wave.
Yes. Pause.
Freddie Gibbs sucks, bro. No one cares.
What, Lewis? Yo, if you're gonna make your first appearance on a microphone, I need you to come with some sauce.
Some sauce?
Yes.
What do you mean? What type of sauce? I'm confused. Like, what do you mean? I just said Freddie Gibbs sucks. Nobody cares. I don't care. I agree with Dexter. I agree with Dexter. It was funny, like that.
In your heart, you don't actually think that.
In my heart?
Am I pointing too close to you?
You don't know what's in my heart.
What are you talking about in my heart?
I don't actually.
Well, I don't think that nobody cares because clearly.
You care. You care. I mean, do I care about Freddie Gibbs? No, not necessarily.
No, I'm not saying you do. Okay, it came out November 3rd. I'm not saying you do.
The day before my birthday.
You should. But still, like,
I'm gonna listen to the track. I'm gonna check it out.
It has over 115,000 plays right now.
Okay, very nice.
So evidently, there's a lot of people that care, and that's only one streaming service.
Or you just played it 150,000 times. No. Like, that's possible too.
I've only heard it like 4 times.
I briefly heard the track and I wasn't a big fan. There are some songs that I do like.
But here's the thing.
No, there are some songs that I do like from Freddie Gibbs that I do appreciate, like 1 or 2. But overall, I'm not a big Freddie Gibbs.
You haven't heard that many.
I mean, you've played like his whole album, so I've heard all of them.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. And this isn't to say he doesn't have great beats because, Pinata. He raps over very good beats. However, you have a certain ear to certain beats you like. I'm a person that prioritizes bars over everything else.
That's true.
I love instrumentals, whatever. I love beats. But at the end of the day, you could say what you want about a rapper or a hip-hop artist, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, when there's no beat, there's nothing, he has a voice. He or she, let's not be gender binary here. He or she has a voice, he or she will have bars, and he or she will go out there and rap. Before there's instrumentation and all that stuff. Freddie Gibbs can rap, and a lot of these other dudes that I like can rap. People say that about Nas, that he spits over trash beats, which is not true. Except for maybe Nostradamus.
Yeah, well,
but still.
That's all. Don't ever get me talking about that.
But still. People at the end of the day, they have their verses and their bars, and that's the most important thing when it comes to MCing, when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to rapping.
I was just mimicking.
Let me say one thing. I'm a man who likes artwork, and that artwork That artwork intrigued me. So
I don't know why.
I know it's out there. It's kind of like the Nirvana album. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not gonna say what the artwork is, but if you want to go look, you can check it out.
Yeah, but just the fact that the artwork's that, and I saw that in the group chat, I was like, okay, I'll give it a listen for Bryan.
But look at that.
Here's the
progress with Freddie Gibbs.
Here's the thing, but I don't even. Let's not.
Little progress.
I was gonna say let's not make a big deal, but we're already past that point. But here's the thing: is the song is out, but to me, I didn't look at it as like, oh, this is a big single. Like, I can't wait. Like when Crushed Glass came out, I was like, oh, but that's also because he came back from the wrongful jail sentence that they try to put him.
I don't believe this downplaying of the excitement. I'm not buying it.
But here's the thing.
I'm not buying it at all.
But here's the thing. The song, I knew when it came out, I'm like, oh, this has to be some kind of like just throwaway or whatever. He's about to go on tour. Maybe this is just before the tour. And the producer, I think, is European. I don't know how to pronounce it.
He's doing his European tour.
Yeah, he's about to do his Europe. So when the song came out, I wasn't like, oh, this is a big single and a release of some project. No, it's just, a song that came out.
You were slightly excited.
Oh, yeah, I was excited. When I heard the song, I was like, oh, this is good. Maybe more music comes out. Bandana's allegedly about to come out. Like, come on, Madlib, let's go. Like,
I love Madlib.
It's coming.
I love
Madlib. It's coming. I'm going to check out this song, and I will report back and see what I think. And next week I'll say what I think about it. I did have a song, just quickly I'll mention a song I liked that came out this week, DJ Premier.
Oh, yes.
My favorite producer put out a song with A$AP Ferg, who I'm actually not a huge fan of. Who you like. Yes. I'm not a huge fan of A$AP Ferg, but I like this track. It's really good. It's really gritty, boom bap, New York sounding. Primo still got it, so I like that. I just want to say that.
I do too.
That was good. Next topic that came up, Bryan. We had a conversation today. Bryan brought up. He had a little conversation about chopped cheese.
Yeah. So how this happened was I was on my Instagram story. I don't remember who it was, but I was on my Instagram story, and someone posted a photo circling that there was chopped cheese on the menu. And this has nothing to do with the person because I don't even remember who it is.
Explain. Some people who are not from New York and particularly not from uptown Harlem or the Bronx are not going to know what chopped cheese is.
Which we're not, but we're still from New York.
Yes, but we know what chopped cheese is.
Yes.
And chopped cheese, for those who know, is basically hamburger meat chopped up with cheese on a sandwich with mayonnaise and some other condiments put together. I think it's really tasty.
I roll without the mayonnaise, but
Yo, you got to go with the mayo. You're just doing it wrong, man.
I don't like anything that looks like my bodily fluids.
Yo, you serious?
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Like anti-mayo?
Yeah, I don't like mayo.
I don't trust people who are anti-mayo.
It doesn't taste good.
Yeah, I'm moving away now.
I think.
Yo, who doesn't like mayo?
I don't like mayo. Like, this is, okay. I don't like mustard. I don't like ranch either. I'm a plain eater, actually.
Okay.
People in this room can verify that.
That's fine, man. I
don't like tomatoes either, but I like ketchup.
I do have one thing I don't like. So I've met those. I think that's weird too. But
I've tried to like tomato. Can we get back to?
Yes, back to the chopped cheese. We're going on a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Back to the chopped cheese. So
tomatoes
for those
overrated.
who are not from New York, this is not what you might not know with us. It originated uptown. A lot of places, bodegas in Harlem and the Bronx that make this and make this very well. It's not something you'll find prominently in Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, but you will find it uptown in New York City.
Will.
But yeah, we'll talk about that. So you brought this up, and this is how it came up.
I saw the photo, and what my question was, why is everyone so fascinated by chopped cheese now? Because I've known about this for a while. I remember having it in high school when I was in the Bronx at one point for a basketball game or whatever. Like, it was like a pregame meal or something. We stopped by at a store, and I got a chopped cheese sandwich. I remember doing that back then. You had stories about times that you've had chopped cheese before. This is before. This is now. Now it's like, it's become some phenomenon. On Twitter, I've seen it. On Instagram, I've seen it. And I want to know why now.
It's simple, man.
Go ahead.
One word. Gentrification.
Bang.
That's what it comes down to. Now that a lot of white people moved to places in Harlem and also in the Bronx. Now
wait.
Sobro in the Bronx, South Bronx.
Look. That's not to say we're not anti-white people either.
No, I'm not saying that.
I don't want to come off too heavy-handed.
No, we're not saying.
Matt, we love you.
What I'm saying is.
Clearly. I'm the producer of the show. You love me.
Yeah. What I'm saying here is you've had people move into this, and sometimes with some of the white folks that moved into certain neighborhoods that were predominantly minority, there's been this Christopher Columbus complex. Like, now they come in and they act like, oh, we've discovered chopped cheese. And you know where I'm going with Columbus, because Columbus acted like he discovered America, but how you going to discover something that was already there and people live there, which is a bunch of BS. Yeah. Everybody, if people know me, know how I feel about Columbus Day. Shouldn't be a holiday. It's ridiculous that it is. Whatever.
Yeah.
And now you've had a lot of people written about chopped cheese. It's been out there and things, and it's been kind of touted as new thing. Oh, chopped cheese has been around for a while. It ain't nothing new. It's disrespectful to folks uptown that have been making it, serving it, buying it, everything. It's not new. Let's not. And I had an experience with this where I was really annoyed a couple of years ago. I got really upset.
Tell us.
Because New York Times wrote an article. Obviously, I'm from Brooklyn, from East Flatbush, Brooklyn, which is a lot of Caribbean folks. But in Crown Heights, another neighborhood that's a very high Caribbean population, they said there was this new explosion, a new wave of Caribbean food in Crown Heights. A new wave of Caribbean food in Crown Heights.
What was it?
Ain't no new wave.
What was it?
No, there's no new wave. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I thought it was a specific food.
No. They were
like a gyro or something.
No, there were these restaurants that had popped up along Franklin Avenue, and they were acting like there was just. And I'm like, there's been Caribbean restaurants here for years. There have been people cooking for 60 years and owning restaurants here for plenty of time, right? That has gone to Sybil's, one of my favorite spots, which is actually in Flatbush. Matt, our producer, who we were mentioning before, is white. Matt, how do you feel about Sybil's?
You have no idea.
Matt loves Sybil's, right?
It's honestly like, it's like white people love Roll and Roaster. I don't know why.
It's trash.
It's trash. I love Sybil's. It's trash. Roast beef and cheese. Come on, people.
We like some of y'all food too.
No, but my thing is, do not give credit to the people who originally started something and act like it's something new. It's very disrespectful to those people and people of a culture who have done that. I wouldn't go to Italy and go to some certain part of Italy and said, oh, there's a pasta explosion here. Like they haven't been making pasta for hundreds of years. like that's so disrespectful. Like, oh, there's this new kind of pasta and sauce that I've never had before. Just because you've never experienced it doesn't mean that there's an explosion of that culture or in that area. So what we're saying here on the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast is we are not here for the gentrification and not giving respect to the people of certain cultures and foods that it is. Respect the chopped cheese, please.
Yes.
Respect the Caribbean food and respect the pasta in Italy.
Yes.
You don't do that.
Yes.
I'm just sorry for my rant, but that's what I have to say, and I don't like it, and I don't think that's fine at all. Matt, you got something to say?
One thing, I've never heard of a chopped cheese until you guys just mentioned it, and now I really want one.
So now are you going to now say that there's an explosion of chopped cheese?
No, there isn't, because I've been eating, West Indian food for 2 years now. Not an explosion. Sybil's been there it's an institution, so.
Wait until we have the explosion of arroz con pollo.
Oh, please.
And where's that going to be? Williamsburg?
I hope not.
Well, listen.
They're going to pronounce it arroz.
Arroz con pollo. Please.
That's another, you can't be messing up this
polo.
You can't mess up the way you talk about people's food.
Please.
Like that too. So we're not here for that. One last thing we're going to talk about before we wrap things up is, and Bryan and I have been speaking about this for a long time. We've been looking at a lot of logos in sports and jerseys in sports, and some teams and organizations, what are y'all doing? Some teams have some horrible logos out there
and names.
And in the NBA, the one that comes to mind, there's a jersey I can't stand. It's awful. They've tried to touch it up a little bit this season, and it's gotten slight improvement to it, but it's the Clippers. That design they had a couple years ago with the CLAC in the middle of the court, it looks like claw. It doesn't even look, it looks like somebody did it with Microsoft Paint. And I'm not even saying that because Steve Ballmer owns the team, but it looks like somebody literally took Microsoft Paint and made the logo.
I remember Matt was sending us some logos. I think this was last week or the week before or whatever. And you were sending some. One of the ones that you sent really stood out to me because I always hated this logo. So I was somebody who back in the day, whatever. I used to have baseball cards, right?
Yes.
So this was I had old baseball cards too, like the 80s. I remember the Chicago White Sox. I can't even describe the logo, but they had this ugly logo. So did the Milwaukee Brewers, actually. Like, there were some bad baseball logos in the 80s. The Padres, I hated that one.
Which Milwaukee Brewers logo?
Wait.
Not the one with the mitt.
No.
Because I love that. I think
maybe
it's one of the greatest sports logo.
Well, maybe no. Maybe I'm thinking of their uniforms.
Oh, okay.
Their uniforms were.
And uniforms you guys put in there too.
But yeah, the Chicago White Sox old one was bad. I'm trying to think. What are some good ones? Because I'm just pooping on everything.
Good uniforms.
Yeah.
Good uniforms and logos. I mean, I think if you look at, I think
the Knicks one is kind of lazy.
What?
I like the black stripe.
I'm glad you got rid of the black stripe. I like I like the
You
thinner.
didn't like the black stripe?
I liked it.
That's your 90s era Knicks, and you didn't like the black stripe?
Yeah, but I like it better with the thinner stripe. It looks a little bit more cleaner. I think the Knicks uniform is great. I don't think they should ever touch it. I do like that they straightened out the letters a couple years ago instead of having a curve. I think the Knicks uniform is great. It should never be touched. The Bulls uniform should never be touched. The Celtics uniform is great.
Clean is overrated.
Is great. Okay, it's just clean, white, blue, and all. It's just clean, man.
Clean is overrated.
The Jazz went back to their older styles with the note. I hated the ones with the mountain.
You know whose uniform is trash?
Whoa. All right.
Nobody want to see the mountaintop, even though I know it's from a special time when Malone and Stockton went to the finals.
In NBA Live 2004, when I would play against Utah, I would have them wear those because I like those uniforms.
There's no.
But that was when I was 9. Now they're still pretty cool.
No,
you know what uniforms are whack? You know what uniforms are whack? The Minnesota lime green alternate ones they have.
Those are awful. The new ones.
I don't like any of those uniforms. They got like the lines on. What, Lewis? You like those?
No, I like the Minnesota.
Give Lewis the microphone.
Are you saying you don't want gentrification in
Jimmy
the jerseys?
Butler's 14?
You don't want gentrification in the NBA jerseys? Is that what you're saying right now?
Gentrification in the jerseys?
Yeah, you don't want them to be all nice and new. Is that what you're saying right now?
That's not how gentrification works.
I don't know, man.
It's not just about nice and new.
Word. It's nice, new, and expensive. That's how that works.
No, but
and forces other people out.
I really do like the Timberwolves. You guys don't like the Timberwolves?
I like the Timberwolves one. I like anything white and navy blue.
You don't like the
I don't like the neon green alternate. That I don't like.
Why?
It looks ugly.
Pull up some uniforms.
Also look at the Atlanta Hawks neon green. That's the worst uniform in the NBA. That's up there though. The Atlanta Hawks is up there with the Clippers. The Atlanta Hawks.
I don't know. I don't know why.
I
don't know why they decided to go away from their original.
I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I don't like the Atlanta Hawks one. However,
who likes that?
My
No one.
brother.
Don't say he likes it.
No, he doesn't like it.
Okay, good.
But he pointed out, and my brother, very smart basketball guy. We're gonna have him on here to roast me at some point because he wants to do that. But the Atlanta Hawks one that I remember him always referencing was, I call them the Dikembe Mutombo era uniform.
Oh, with the hawk,
hawk across the alternate.
I'm not really a fan of that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
He hates that.
Not a fan of it.
I don't like it either. I saw it and I was like, nah, man. Like, they let this happen. You know which one? You know which one I actually like? Now I'm thinking of old '90s uniforms. I like the teal Pistons one.
Utah Jazz.
I kind of like that one.
Never cared for it.
I like the Cleveland Cavaliers. I call it the Brevin Knight era Cavalier jerseys.
Those with the Cavaliers diagonal with the light blue?
No.
Yeah, those are all right.
Oh, those are awful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, those are awful.
Maybe I'm
Timberwolves.
misremembering the top, but I remember liking the shorts.
No.
Okay.
Didn't care for it at all.
I like the Orlando Magic pinstripe black. I always like those.
I did like those. Those are. I like
current ones too.
I like the Phoenix Suns all-star black. I think there's.
I don't like the Phoenix Suns current one.
I don't, because I think some.
I
teams,
like the one with the sun on it.
I don't understand certain teams that went away from their traditional color structure and just totally deviated from it.
They gentrified it.
When certain teams have come back to it, like the Jazz. And the Jazz have a really good alternate I like this year. The yellow alternate I really like a lot.
Amazing.
We're going to have to talk. This is going to be an ongoing thing because as I see more teams and I look at them on League Pass, I'm going to realize and I'm going to call some people out. Baseball, I don't have as much problem with a lot of jerseys in baseball.
I want to get back to basketball real quick.
Yes.
The Knicks should never, ever.
I know where you're going.
Ever have gotten rid of their orange jersey.
I agree.
That orange jersey. That orange jersey.
I kept mine.
The one in the Knicks orange jersey was one of the best recent alternates that have come out. It worked. It looked good.
And people were just mad because they were like
0-7.
0-20 when they wore the jersey.
It's bad luck.
I mean, it was the Knicks.
So what?
I mean, it was the Knicks. They also played bad that year with a lot of other jerseys on.
Those orange jerseys are great. I think the Knicks could also pull off an orange on black uniform too. I think that would look pretty nice. But the orange one, I like those. I also like the Nets Brooklyn Dodger things.
I do like that.
I do like those.
I don't know if they're wearing those this year.
I like those uniforms too.
I do like those.
Just white, black, like the regular Nets jerseys that they have too. I like those.
Let us know. I would like to hear from some people. Let us know on Twitter which jerseys you like, which jerseys you don't like. Who needs a whole revamping, and what you think of your teams and some of the other topics we talked about today. We want to thank everybody for listening. As usual, you can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, or you can watch us on YouTube, as I know many of you guys do, and we thank you so much for your support.
The Wave by Freddie Gibbs.
And there comes
out now.
another shameless promotion.
Deontay Wilder versus
versus Anthony Joshua soon.
Yeah,
I'm just giving you recap.
Yeah, okay. Now you
Free Meek Mill.
Now you sound like a rapper dropper. We have no idea when that Anthony Joshua or Wilder fight is coming.
What else did we talk about? What else did we talk about?
We talked a little bit
Enough
about
of Ezekiel Elliott.
Yes, we've had
Please.
that. Hopefully we don't have to talk about that again. We hopefully not.
I don't miss Gordon Hayward.
And yeah, Matt said he doesn't miss Gordon Hayward, but we don't believe him at all. He is a Jazz fan that wants to see more offense because right now their offense is offensive. That'll be it for this episode, episode 9 of the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. We'll see you guys next week when we return with our show. We thank you for watching, and hopefully we will not have any more Freddie Gibbs updates.
Stop.
Until then.
Tell all your friends, tell your mother, tell everybody in your life to follow the podcast.
He's always going to say to listen to the Freddie Gibbs show.
No. Tell them to follow the podcast. Tell them to follow along, download it.
Freddie Gibbs sucks.